kick right in front of the goal, and it's in.
Back in, cuts to his forward, take the shot, he scores!
Escape Arena in South Point, Pennsylvania. I'm Matt Geica. Brian Mitchell of Pittsburgh Hockey Digest will be joining shortly as Berg Hockey Live begins for the final doubleheader of the 2019-20 PIHL regular season. It's all Class AAA this evening from the building formerly known as Isoplex, starting with this matchup with home ice still on the line for Erie Cathedral Prep. The Ramblers make their longest road trip of the season by miles down here to South Point to take on a very ready for the playoffs, Peters Township Indians team. Again, these two teams both have a chance to roll into the playoffs with some good momentum, but also both teams have a chance to open up at home. For Peters Township, that's already secure. The Indians are in third place out of 11 teams and third place out of 8 in the playoff field, which is already set in Class AAA. But they could drop down to fourth with a loss here against Erie Cathedral Prep. And based on results later this evening with Ken and Mac taking on Upper St. Clair here in our 9 o'clock game, which will also be on our YouTube page here. But for Cathedral Prep, it seems like a really pivotal game at this moment. They have won 8 in a row, and I mentioned the long trip, but they're used to it when they go on the road, which makes having a home game, you would think, for the first round of the playoffs all the more important. To wit, Cathedral Prep is 9-1 up at the Mercyhurst Ice Center in Erie, but just 3-5-1 away from home. Now, it's been a totally different story in the second half. The Ramblers haven't lost in calendar year 2020 as they've gotten the usual supplements from the football team after the football season is over. That's just the fact of the matter at Cathedral Prep, and you'd be foolish to judge them on their first half results. As for the Indians, they're on a roll too, not quite 8 in a row, but they have won 3 straight since the 6-4 loss to Upper St. Clair a couple of weeks ago. 2 of those wins have come beyond regulation. An overtime victory against Bethel Park a couple of weeks ago put them in the driver's seat for home ice advantage in the first round, which they then clinched last week when they defeated Pine Richland 4-3 in a shootout up at the Barrel Ice Complex in Warrendale. Peters Township boasts the second best goal differential out of the 11 Class AAA teams at plus 35. Erie Cathedral Prep had a difficult first half, but in the second half they've surged back, like I mentioned, and they've been averaging nearly 5 goals per game in their past 9. Ever since they got shut out by Mount Lebo on Thanksgiving week, they have been tough to stop on the offensive side of the puck. The two teams are lined up for the national anthem, so we'll take a short break and bring it back for the face-off. Peters Township hosting Erie Cathedral Prep in moments here on Berg Hockey Live. 1 point behind Peters Township. Erie Cathedral Prep boasting a record of 12-6-1. Peters Township at 13-6 with 0 overtime or shootout losses. Cathedral Prep, though, could finish anywhere from 3rd through 6th place in the standings. They're in the playoffs, as I mentioned, but they could get home ice, but they need at least a point tonight to give themselves a good chance of finishing in 4th, as both Pine Richland, which plays on Thursday against Bethel Park, and Cannon Mac, which plays later tonight, here on this same surface against Upper St. Clair, could move past Cathedral Prep. Both Cannon Mac and Pine Richland are just 1 point behind the Ramblers for that 4th spot. Top 4 teams get the first round home game. After that, it's all neutral site, so it doesn't matter. So the top 4 is where you want to finish up. Getting set for the drop of the puck, Brian Buchholz and Todd Hendry are our referees for the evening. Anthony Foltz will face it off for Peters Township. On the other side of the ice, Hayden Cox, and it's poked ahead by the Ramblers, and it's one of their all-stars. Jake Khrushchevsky cruising into the offensive zone. Erie Cathedral Prep in its trademark orange and black uniforms, and Peters Township in the white with the red and the black. And this is Anthony Foltz rimming it in deep for the Indians. On the chase now, Brace Centert near side. 4 goals in his first varsity season. Knocked it behind the goal, but it's taken there by Hayden Cox and played up the far wing. Khrushchevsky turned the wrong way to take that bank pass from Jordan Adams, another all-star for Cathedral Prep. The Ramblers had 4 in the All-Star Classic last month. The Indians had 6. Although one of them, Eric Wilbert, is hurt and unlikely to return at least for the next couple of weeks. We'll see if things can continue to progress for him, as he suffered an injury a couple of weeks ago. Hunter Ferguson, head up, senior defenseman, makes a great pass on here to John Camp, but he's dispossessed as he tried to burst in over the line. Evan Sala got a stick and some body in there to break up the play. Barrett, Owen Barrett for Peters Township, 14 points to lead this D-core. Errant pass ahead, and now it'll be Aiden Alexander taking it. Finds John Camp. Camp tried to take a misplay there just inside the blue line, and it's popped along and not cleared. Mark Lehman held just inside the blue. Shot it on line, a save made by Faulkner, his first stop of the night. Seth Faulkner, the senior netminder, is in it for the Cathedral Prep Ramblers. A .927 save percentage, one of the best in Class AAA coming into tonight. On the other end of the ice, it's Alex Wilbert, also a senior, also with a sparkling save percentage, near .930. .925 to be exact, and a .194 goals against for Alex Wilbert. Fourth-year starter in net for Rick Tingle's Peters Township Indians. Nearly 2 minutes into this game, just one shot on goal, and that went to the Indians. It was a long-distance drive from Mark Lehman. Gavin Dabkowski tried to deflect this one into the offensive zone, but he missed on that headman delivery, and it's an icing call against the Indians with 15:04 to go in the first. Again, I'm Matt Geica. Brian Mitchell is both doing color analysis and running the camera. So I tip my cap to him for the double duty as usual.
Hi, guys. How's it going out there?
And also, salute to the students at Peters Township High School for putting on the PTCT 7 feed for us on tape delay. Berg Hockey Live brought to you on YouTube for the past few weeks. Start to open it up to more folks that way.
Still working out the bugs, but we're getting there.
Josh Martin couldn't take this delivery. Now Gavin Dabkowski shoots in. Weird carom off the partition, bounced right back to him. Little boomerang action for Dabkowski, the junior. He prized it loose, but Jack Zakin couldn't take it cleanly, and here are the Ramblers moving on back. And it is Josh Martin to the outside, wristing it down low. First save of the night for Alex Wilbert. Cleared out to center point. Drive by Zambrowski, hit the pipe from 55 feet away with traffic in front. Zambrowski again, now he'll play it near corner. Remember, the Ramblers, 6 losses on the year, but none since the calendar page turned. Just one of those since Thanksgiving. They've won 8 in a row coming into tonight. They're the hottest team in Class AAA. Here's a relatively fresh face. Dante Ellison for the Indians, wearing number 6, the junior, playing just his 5th game of the year. Ellison is in. It appears that Katie Wilbert is sitting this one out on the Indian side of things. She's played in 10 games. One of the few girls in PIHL hockey this year. Melted down at the side of the net by Seth Faulkner of Cathedral Prep. Coached by Alex Luddy. Faulkner with a record of 11-2-1. A couple of shutouts and 2 assists to his name this year. Faulkner has started 4 straight and 7 of 8. Alex Wilbert on the other side has started 7 in a row. Barrett with a drive, deflected, and Faulkner tracked it the whole way and sticked it to the corner. Foltz, dish to the point, poked by Aiden Alexander. It's a 2-on-1 for the Ramblers. Here comes Jordan Adams, waiting, shooting, off the body of Wilbert and wide. Khrushchevsky couldn't collect the rebound. 2 most dangerous offensive players for Cathedral Prep on that rush. Now Khrushchevsky is shot, save Wilbert, and it's cleared out by Caden Slavin of Peters Township, and it goes just wide of the Ramblers' net. It's another icing against the Indians, and the Ramblers are looking hot to start. 13:23 left in a scoreless first period. And in terms of need, Cathedral Prep needs the points more than Peters Township. Even if Peters loses and other results don't go their way, they can't finish lower than 4th. So they're going to have a home game for at least the 7th straight year. That's as far back as I can track home ice in the first round on the PIHL website at PIHLhockey.com. So the Indians are used to starting the playoffs at home, and it's led to a couple of Penguins Cup titles this decade and a couple of state titles this decade. Aiden Alexander, a deke to the middle, lost control of the puck. Drew Wilbert shot it off the misplay, and the stop was made by Faulkner. Back to the front of the net. Lehman sent it there. The captain of the Indians, now John Camp, shoves it along further. Pinned to the wall was Alexander, and out comes Erie Cathedral Prep. Aiden Alexander playing forward. He has played forward in his career, or at least he was for a moment. Pardon me. He's now back on the blue line. I thought for a second that Rick Tingle would put him up front in this game. Like I said, he has played both. And he had The only overtime goal this season for the Indians a couple weeks back at Bethel Park. John Camp couldn't get the shot away. It was blocked. Camp, 12 goals in 14 games for the Tribe. Alex Wilbert hangs on to this loose puck at the side of his cage, and he'll gladly take the faceoff in his own end with an orange body in his face. Peters Township is 8-2 here at Princescape this season, counting the game they were technically the road team for against Cannon McMillan. That was the Miners' Cup game back in late November that the Indians claimed. Fultz rims it around the wood. There to take it is Caden Slavin, but not for long. Picked up by Cathedral Prep, and it's Hayden Cox shoveling it to Krzyzewski. A lot of ice time for him early on. Took the high shot, redirected, and Wilbert had to make the save off the friendly fire deflection. To the point in Connor Ginn. Now Cox spun around and lost control, and the puck is cleared past him. Down the ice it goes. It'll be stick handled by Seth Faulkner. No icing was about to be called there, so why not keep it moving? Jonathan Zambrowski takes a bump there. Caden Slavin rammed him into the wall. Slavin, one of the 16 seniors on this Peters Township squad in the program. For his senior day announcements, his advice to underclassmen was hit anything that moves, and you see why on that last shift. Owen Barrett will take this just inside his blue line. Barrett to Christian Biscardo, the tall, lanky forward, bumped by Adams, lost control of that puck, but there's a smooth move from Dylan McElhaney just inside the blue line to keep it alive, albeit briefly. As now backtracking is Krzyzewski. Off to Ginn. Ginn's soft little backhand, though, not in the right spot. McElhaney will take it. McElhaney on his backhand. He's crunched by Adams. McElhaney turns, wanted to feed the point, but Alexander was late arriving, and it slides all the way down the sheet. In behind the Peters Township net. 10:50 to go in the first period. No score in this one. I'm Matt Geica with Brian Mitchell on Berg Hockey Live. No icing here as the dump in was redirected. Mike Orlando on the take. Filters that ahead. Dom Peterson, leader in penalty minutes for this Ramblers club. Couldn't make a move with it. Peterson will try again, and he'll softly send in on Wilbert, who sticks it to the corner. Austin Faulkner taking it and shooting it, but that was blocked. Aiden Alexander for Peters Township ran into some trouble there. Lost control to Peterson, who blocked up that near side board. Now back to the point. Wrister coming, score! Evan Sala shot it. I think it hit a body or a stick on the way, and it dipped as it headed toward Alex Wilbert, and it got under his glove and inside the post. With 10-12 left in the first period, Cathedral Prep, what else is new? Takes an early lead, going for its 9th straight win. Well, it's got at least the first one in this game, all important on the road especially. Even strength goal. Like I said, Sala shot it. If it's his, it'll be his 3rd of the season. I'm not entirely convinced it is his, though. We'll wait for the announcement, get a better idea from the on-ice officials. In just a moment, taking the shot from in close was Faulkner, but that was blocked. And they will give it to Sala initially. Ellison now the handoff. Ringwald, Chayton Ringwald tried to pick the top right corner and miss it by a couple of inches. On the chase back are the Ramblers. And shooting from a sharp angle, stopped by Wilbert. He denied Joe Agresti on the counterattack with 9:46 to go in the first period. Agresti, just taking that straight to the net. Didn't want to make a pass. One of the Indians was in the lane. Probably the right move, even though he ran out of space to really pick a corner. To the side wall. So Cathedral Prep with the lead. Strong check behind the net by Hunter Ferguson. Josh Martin wanted a penalty called against Ferguson. Not going to happen. Now back comes McElhaney with a wrister and snatched out of the air by Faulkner on his skates, using that glove hand, and no rebound available.
It's important to note for Cathedral Prep that they need to get on the board early. They need to win this game. You were noting earlier about those standings. Cathedral Prep wins, it seals off all of the home seeds in the first round because nobody can catch the Peters Township Indians. Both Pine Richland and Cannon McMillan were defeated by the Indians this season. So at this point, if Peters Township were to lose this game in any format, it will be Cathedral Prep 3, Peters Township 4.
Bouncing around in front of the net. McElhaney and Zakin got swings at it. Neither could connect, though. Owen Barrett, a blast, and right into the chest protector of Faulkner, and he pins it.
And on the other side of that coin, if Peters Township wins tonight in regulation, it's all bets are off, as Cannon McMillan has a chance to clinch tonight with a victory over Upper St. Clair. In regulation, they will be able to take that number 4 seed, as Pine Richland cannot jump the Cannon McMillan Big Macs.
Mitch has all the tiebreakers figured out. Follow him on Twitter, PhD_Mitch, for more information on all of that. Khrushchevsky downshifting, wristing, and it never got through. And then Adams of the Ramblers was plowed into the Peters Township net. He checks his helmet to make sure everything is still attached and fastened and secured. And go to berghockey.com, where Mitch laid out the scenarios coming into the week for all the classes in the PIHL, AAA, AA, Single A, and B. There's plenty there for you to feast your eyes upon as you get ready for the postseason. And we will have a play-in game coming up.
Could have 3 by the end of the week, yeah.
We do have one for sure at the RMU Island Sports Center. We'll see West Day taking on Montour.
That is what I've heard is the location of that game. I'm assuming that that is correct, that will be on Sunday night at the Island. The other game right now, based on what happens in the Northwest of the AA, is going to be Quaker Valley, Meadville, or Mars, as those 3 teams are still battling for that prime position. And then in Class B, there's also one possible between Morgantown and Connellsville.
And Class AA, very different from Class AAA. AAA, it's all one division, 11 teams. Drew Wilbert in front. Camp made a nifty play to tap it away from one defender, but now he's forced away to the side. And now spinning as Tyler Balzer trying to clear it. Second chance off the stick of Lehman, and it does hop out to center ice.
Lehman hit it with a high stick. Had to let it go.
I was wondering why he backed off there. Didn't see the hand in the air from the referees, but good eye there, Mitch. And as I was saying, Class AA, as Ferguson shoots wide, has 4 divisions. You have to finish in the top 2 of each of those divisions to make the playoffs. Here it's just top 8, simple as that, 8 out of 11. It's a balanced schedule. Ferguson wristing off the blocker of Faulkner. Lehman in behind. Camp tried to kick it, but he whiffed on it. Orlando rips it away, and it's cleared by the Ramblers right through Jake Bush, the senior defenseman. Well, the Indians have won 3 in a row, but 2 of them have required more than regulation to get it done after they didn't play a single game beyond regulation in their first 16 of the year. Last time out, it was a shootout win at Pine Richland. Drew Wilbert had to score a third-period power play goal to take at least a point there, and then they got both of them, did the Indians. Camp with a wrist shot. That's off a stick, and it hops to the near side. But all wins count the same for 2 points in this league. So PT with 13 of those victories in 19 games coming in. Dom Peterson. Peterson pushed it around Barrett. Peterson centering, got through a couple of sticks, but Drew Wilbert cleans up the garbage. Wilbert not out there with his brother Eric, as we usually see. I mentioned Eric injured. 2 all-stars, or 2 key contributors, I should say, on the sideline for Peters Township. Seth Hanna as well, senior defender, in addition to Eric Wilbert, who did make the all-star team. Zakin on the puck retrieval, finds Alexander, dished it right past Marcus Shearer of the Ramblers. It's into this near side corner. Dabkowski spinning to try to keep it. Dabkowski with Zakin, but it's a 3-on-2 advantage for Erie Cathedral Prep in the corner. And it hops out to center ice. Dabkowski will shoot off the glove here of Zambrowski. Zambrowski overtaken by the long and rangy Dylan McElhaney. Zakin snaps the pass out to the point. Ferguson banged it off the skate of Zakin. Now Ferguson tries again, ripping it, and it's blockered aside by Faulkner. He saw it the whole way. No trouble there for the all-star goalie. McElhaney off a stick, right to Zakin though. Indians starting to swarm the puck and possess in the offensive zone, down 1-0. Alexander drifting to the top of the circle. Under some pressure there from Kurt Johnson, so he knocked it in deep. And drawing a penalty there in the corner was Dante Ellison, so he contributes in his first game back in the lineup in a while. And with 5:19 left in the first, Peters Township gets the evening's first power play.
Peters Township getting a very good cycle down low and just forcing Cathedral Prep to try to get that puck off of them, and that just resulted in the penalty. So we'll go to the power play for Peters Township. 5:19 remaining in the first period. It's hard to see the scoreboard here.
That's the one flaw of the heaters that are suspended above the rink for the benefit of the fans here. They get in the way of the scoreboard if you're on the concourse. Camp goes cross rink, and the Indians put their third-ranked power play to work, and a snapshot to the front by Drew Wilbert was deflected away from the front of the net. Ferguson will take. Ferguson to Drew Wilbert. I mentioned scored a power play goal last time out at Pine Richland. Now Camp has Barrett center point, instead goes over to Ferguson. He connects to Barrett. Barrett, half slapper, blocked over toward the left circle and swung out of danger by Khrushchevsky.
Maybe if we, if it wasn't so high, we might cut an agreement with Bubba's Burgers to the broadcast from up there.
We'd lose some of the ambiance, though,
Yeah,
if we were hermetically sealed like the patrons are on that side of the rink. Bubba's Burgers, the name of the restaurant on the far side of the ice now. You're familiar with the setup here at South Point. Drew Wilbert barreling back to build up some speed, and he does. Avoids one man. Now shoots, and a good pad save by Faulkner.
Solid save.
Wilbert went against the grain with that snapper and nearly sneaked it past Faulkner. And cleared by the Ramblers. It's taken now by Bush. Looks at his stick. It betrayed him there. A bouncing puck. But the Indians settle in once more. Second unit out there, at least on the blue line now. Still the same couple of forwards for the moment. This is deflected out of play. It hit the glass in front of Bubba's Burgers, not the glass that protects the rink. So that's a whistle and a stoppage with 3:46 left in the first. A couple of decent scoring chances for the Indians, but nothing on the board here so far. 27 seconds to go on their first power play of the night. Strength on strength, because I mentioned Peters Township with the third-ranked power play. Well, Cathedral Prep has the second-ranked penalty kill at 85%. Just 13 power play goals allowed this season. McElhaney with a headhunter right over the top of the crossbar as he slipped into the offensive zone down the left wing side. Alexander from the right shot it, and it's tipped wide. I think Deb will stick to it. Josh Martin trying to just hold the puck there with 4 seconds to go on the penalty to Marcus Shearer. Shearer's out of the box. Here's a drive off the outside of the goal by Jake Bush, still in pursuit of his first point this season. A couple inches away from getting one there, but not to be. Bunted over to Adams. Adams wanted to pull it to the middle on his forehand. Aiden Alexander said no sail there, as he kept his stick right on top of the puck and was not fooled. McElhaney with under 3 to go in a quick-moving first period here at Princegate. I'm Matt Geica with Brian Mitchell alongside. This is Berg Hockey Live. Jack Zakin with a soft flip in. The Indians make a wholesale change, giving the Ramblers an easy out of their zone. Adams over to Balzer. Balzer bumped into there by his opposite number, Anthony Foltz. Puck hops loose over to this near wing in front of the Ramblers bench. Just 3 wins on the road for the Ramblers this season. They lost in their previous trip to this building to take on Cannon Mac. That was back in the first half of the season. That was a different Cathedral Prep team at that point, as most teams are now. But as I mentioned, the personnel definitely changes for Cathedral Prep every year when they get a couple of the football players join them after that season's over. Sennert taking a mishandle at center, and Sennert will put this one right into the chest of Faulkner, and no further play with 2:03 left in the first period. Ramblers won a Penguins Cup a few years back. I believe it was 2016.
They won back-to-back AA and AAA, last team to do it. 2 different classes, 2015 and 16.
And they remain very competitive in Class AAA.
2 teams trying to do that this year, the Montour Spartans and the Pine Richland Rams.
And the Rams will be in the playoffs, so they can do it. Montour still has some work to do. They'll have to win that play-in game against West A. Centering were the Ramblers, and it's off the heel of Peterson's stick in front. Maybe a Peters Township stick got in the way to interrupt that one. Now out to Austin Faulkner, shot it high. Barrett gloved it down, and Shaden Ringwald will clear, but no further than the center red line. Ripped right back in by the Ramblers, but too quickly. That's an offside play, which will halt matters here. Jake Khrushchevsky, the leading scorer and leading goal getter for Cathedral Prep. 17 goals, 30 total points. He's played in all 20 games now after seeing action tonight. Jordan Adams, just 12 games played. one of those players who joined up mid-season, but he's been spectacular in those 12 games. Nearly 2 points per game, 23 total points on the year. Drew Wilbert looks to center it for Peters Township. That was called an intentional offside, by the way. That's why the faceoff came way down to our right. Mike Orlando leaning in against Drew Wilbert. Wilbert takes it away. One of the Wilbert quadruplets who've all seen action this year for Peters Township varsity. Wilbert drop pass, Camp, couldn't quite get there. The Ramblers had a couple of layers of defense there. Orlando, the backhand, gets through 2 bodies there, and now it's picked up by Austin Faulkner. Austin Faulkner went 1v3, make it 1v4, and the puck hops loose to John Camp of Peters Township. Under a minute to play in the first period. It stays just inside the blue line, but Mark Lehman can't make a move with it. Khrushchevsky will take, and misfire on that pass, looking to hook up with Hayden Cox on the far wing. But Cox catches up to it in the corner. He's stripped. Mark Lehman, long lead feed, off the twig of Drew Wilbert. He deflected it ahead, and Evan Sala, the goal scorer in this first period, has it, stumbled down to a knee, has time to get back up though. Good poise there from the senior blue liner, who now leads all defensemen on this team with 8 points on the season after his goal earlier in this period. Under 20 to go in the first. A pass to the slot is broken up by Drew Wilbert, who wants a change now for Peters Township. Under 10 to go. In front, score! Something from nothing. And it's Khrushchevsky finishing the centering pass from Hayden Cox. And it's 2-0. Cathedral Prep with just 6.5 left on the first period clock. What a shocker for the Indians. They're down a deuce.
Just left him alone in front, and he just found it, chipped it up over Wilbert. 2-0 Cathedral Prep.
18 goals for Khrushchevsky, and the assist came from number 18, Hayden Cox, who now has 13 helpers on the year. 2 even strength goals in this first period, and that one, a surprising one. It looked like the Indians had things relatively under control. You don't want to be defending in your own zone, obviously, but they had possession a couple of times but couldn't clear. Off the face-off, the puck hops straight into the air, and it's ripped into the offensive zone by Caden Slavin from behind the red line, though, as he looks up to the clock when the icing whistle sounds. 2.4 to go, so Cathedral Prep can make something from this.
So as we move along, we look at Cathedral Prep 2-0. If it sticks like this, and we've got 2 periods to go, I'm not saying it, what's going to happen from there is Cathedral Prep would finish the 3 seed, Peters Township 4 seed. Cannon McMillan with a win will clinch the 5 seed. So you'd have a rematch of the Miners' Cup in the first round here at Prince Cape Arena. Because Pine Richland cannot jump Cannon McMillan. And so, because of Pine Richland's win, the Seneca Valley Raiders cannot jump. So, against North Allegheny. So, you're going to be seeing how that plays out a little bit here.
Indians won that draw, as you saw, so nothing further in terms of offense from Cathedral Prep, but a heck of a start here tonight as the Ramblers try to ramble into the playoffs with 9 wins in a row. They're in a good spot now.
It's always scary that they do this every year, too. It's like we were in the same position every year with Cathedral Prep. They just love, they can turn it on with get the football players, get the players, 2-sport athletes, football and hockey. Come on. Those are tough players that can move.
I know I couldn't play football, at least.
Oh, I couldn't. Absolutely not. I could barely play hockey.
Yeah, same here, really. So it's, a conversation going on at both benches, more somber at the Peters Township bench. I know they haven't been terribly satisfied with how they've been playing, Mitch, even though they've won 3 in a row. They weren't crazy about their game against Bethel Park, even though they won in overtime. I mentioned they allowed 6 goals to Upper St. Clair a couple of weeks back. They beat Central Catholic here, but it was only 3-0, and they just felt like they were stagnant that night, too. I say only because Central Catholic had been giving up a lot of goals coming into that game, and PT just couldn't quite get the consistent shot and chance generation that they wanted.
It hasn't been the same, I wouldn't say dominance, but the word's escaping me right now, but they just haven't been the same style of a team they've been the last few years. This has been a different Peters Township team. However, it still worked. You're still talking about the 3 seed here, and, they're always a perennial.
And they still have, like I mentioned in the pregame, the second best goal differential in the league at +35. So part of that's been due to the good defensive work. They've allowed just over 2 goals per game. That's second best in the league. Centering pass from Drew Wilbert, picked off by the Ramblers. They have a 3-on-2. If they rush, that is. Cox, drop pass. Adams, shooting, blocked at the point of attack. Drew Wilbert with a toss down the ice. John Camp's on the move. Camp's going to get there, move in, and score! A burst of speed and a handsy move to the forehand, and it's 2-1. PT's broken the ice, and it's that man again, number 9, gets his 13th of the year.
Just absolutely out of a cannon, picks it up in the slot, comes in, fakes out Faulkner. Faulkner goes down, he goes around, throws it in behind him. 2-1 Cathedral Prep.
It's the first I've heard the Carolina Hurricanes goal horn this year at Britscape, trying some new things late in the regular
Brass
season.
Bonanza, yeah.
And Brass Bonanza, so yeah, they're sticking to that franchise.
Oh, yeah.
I do enjoy it. A lot of nights it's kind of quiet when they score. Zakin with the pickoff at the line. Zakin's backhand missed by about a foot to the right. McElhaney takes it though. McElhaney to the point, and Barrett shooting. Save Faulkner. I think it's in his blocker hand glove between his jersey and his wrist. He's still looking for it.
Yeah, he doesn't know where it is. Yeah, it is. It's underneath his glove, in between his glove and his blocker on the top of his hand. That's a first save that I've seen like that in a while.
Good break for him.
Yeah.
And he'll say, yeah, I had it all covered. Shot by Dabkowski. Goes right through the top of the blue paint. Dabkowski, McElhaney shot it, and it was blocked. It was ticketed for the top corner, but there were too many bodies in front. One of them was his own teammate, Jack Zakin. Zakin will take this one here, so it's 2-1. Indians get on the board here. Camp's 13th. Centering, Dabkowski. He stubbed the one-timer, didn't get all of it. And the pass came from McElhaney. It was a beauty, right in the wheelhouse. Dabkowski with a couple of goals in his junior year, first varsity season. Zakin's motoring, wristing, blocked. Camp right on goal.
What
That
a
stop's
shot.
made by Faulkner. I didn't even see it.
Didn't have a chance to even settle it down, just fired it perfectly on Faulkner.
Well, I said that Eric Wilbert may not return this season. John Camp is going to have to pick it up for that secondary scoring for the Indians. They do have Drew Wilbert. They do have Mark Lehman, but they need somebody on a second line or a third scoring option, if you will.
I think that's what I've been noticing about this Peters Township team versus the last couple is the depth. They of course, you said 16 seniors, but the offensive output hasn't been there this year as it usually is when it go down the lineup. Once you get past Lehman and that top line, it just starts to trickle off.
And I should note that the goal differential is great, of course, but
yeah,
there was it 13-1 win against Butler here?
Yes.
So that'll inflate some of those numbers. Big hit over on the far side. Mark Lehman trying to get his team going. He drilled Samuel Gasper. This is a delayed offside against Cathedral Prep. Mark Lehman, the senior captain, the center, and who plans to play baseball at Army West Point next year. Disappointed to hear he wasn't going to pursue hockey any further because, boy, I think he's a terrific player. He's been awesome in all 3 of his varsity seasons here at Peters. Real handful. Centered off to Foltz. Slavin shooting as he stepped into one, and that is held on to by Seth Faulkner.
baseball at Army West Point.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I heard he was going to West Point. I thought I might see him at the Army Island Sports Center playing hockey because Army is in the same conference as RMU in Division I, but apparently not going to be the case. Just saying, if I'm Coach Brian Riley at Army, I might have a chat with him at some point.
You never know.
Lead pass from Ginn to no one in particular went right through Khrushchevsky, and it's icing against the Ramblers. So I mentioned it's a doubleheader tonight. Second game coming up. Call it a 9 o'clock start. Presuming this one finishes in a reasonable time frame, it'll be Upper St. Clair at Canon McMillan. And as Mitch laid out to you, implications there, especially for Canon Mac to jump into a home ice spot perhaps. Alexander wristed it, didn't get through from the point. Adams angled it back ahead to Khrushchevsky. You can tell those two were on the same wavelength. Adams didn't even look. He just put it into a spot, and it nearly worked out, but the Indians had it sniffed out.
Yeah, Canon McMillan and Pine Richland should be cheering for Peters Township here because they're the only way that they'd be able to get a home game in this round.
Otherwise, Cathedral Prep will be locking up that 4th and final home spot. Khrushchevsky ran the gauntlet and got the shot off from point blank, and Wilbert stopped him. Khrushchevsky went down to a knee nearly on his side, and he somehow cruised through with the puck.
I think it was Ferguson or Alexander just draped all over him, too.
Getting shot, and it came right to the front, and Khrushchevsky pops it in. 3-1 Ramblers with 13:04 left in the second.
Wow.
I want to say that was intended to be a shot, but it ended up a perfect pass to the doorstep.
Couldn't make it any better, just being perfect position there and just wide open opportunity. Puck came to his stick and just tapped it past Wilbert, who just didn't expect it. I guess it had to have been a shot because Wilbert bit on as if it was a shot. Went down and played it, yeah.
It might have been tipped slightly to put it offline by about a foot. Well, how about these Ramblers? Up 3-1 now in a tough place to win. In a place where they have won, though, the last 2 times they visited Peters Township. Bouncing pass goes over the stick of Jarrett Aylesworth of Cathedral Prep. So Adams gets the primary assist, and Jonathan Zambrowski the secondary. Khrushchevsky with a pair. He has 19 on the year. A hat trick for him would be doubly sweet because it would get him to the 20-goal barrier, and that's a goal per game this season. 20-game schedule, 2 more than last season in Class AAA because of the additional team added. 2 newcomers to AAA this year. It's given away to Ellison, and his shot was sticked out.
Even threw me off on the camera.
Just handed off, and Ellison had a golden chance to get his first varsity point. Penalty on the way, and I think it's against the Indians on the forecheck.
Ellison.
Interference is the call, says referee Todd Hendry.
Solid opportunity for Ellison, but he just turns around and takes an interference call in the offensive zone.
And now a big chance for Cathedral Prep to start to put this one on ice. It's still relatively early. We're not even halfway through this one, but with 12 minutes left in the second and a 2-goal lead already, pivot point for sure. Zambrowski on the handoff, and revving it up is the captain of the Ramblers, Evan Sala. Sala off to Khrushchevsky, already 2 goals in this game. And he goes for a third and puts it off the shoulder of Wilbert. Ferguson cranks it around the boards, and out it goes past Sala at the point. Faulkner lets it come to him and makes a little poised pass there off to Jordan Adams. Adams ran into center, brace, centered, sending Adams flying. Nothing catch Adams off balance. Terrific skater. Now he pulls up against center. Round 2 goes to the Rambler. Khrushchevsky downshifting and feeding all the way across the rink. Adams to the point, too hard on that pass and a little too far away from Sala for him to lasso it in. 11 minutes to go in the second. Just about a minute to go on this first power play of the night for Cathedral Prep, going up against the #1 penalty killing team in AAA, the Peters Township Indians at 89%. Cathedral Prep's power play right smack in the middle of the league, 6th out of 11 teams. And this is an icing call, and a frustrated Jacob Khrushchevsky behind the play, wondering why one of his teammates wasn't in the way of that pass to knock it up ahead at least and negate the icing. Khrushchevsky gave a tap to Joe Agresti. Some encouragement after the initial frustration. Zakin goes forward with it. The Indians have 4 shorthanded goals to go with their top penalty killing percentage. All 4 scored by Mark Lehman. 2-in-1 game, 2-in-1 period way back early in the season against Butler in a game we had here. Zakin. Killing time for the Indians. Ferguson finds Owen Barrett. And Barrett puts this one off the stick of Zakin, about 3 feet in the air. Down it goes. Wouldn't have been an icing anyway because the Indians are short a man. Ellison, 20 seconds away from escape from the penalty box. Chopping those feet, Austin Faulkner. Faulkner gets a step around Barrett. Has a man in front, but couldn't connect the pass to Agresti. Out to the line, Griffin Garlock pounds it along in deep. Penalty is over. Indians make a quick change. Drew Wilbert joins his friends. Back to 5-on-5. Both teams 0 for 1 on the power play now. 3-1 Cathedral Prep, as you see there on your screen, here on Berg Hockey Live. Middle stage of second period. Headman pass. Ferguson's wide open. Gives it off to Drew Weber. Backdoor. Lehman. He's denied. A stick save and an absolute beauty by Seth Faulkner. Keeps it at 3-1.
What a save by Faulkner. Just waited for it. The opportunity there was a 3-on. They took a little bit more time. Maybe in that situation, you maybe take the shot a little bit earlier, look for the rebound. Maybe try to bounce it off of something, but they waited a little bit longer. Faulkner just put him in perfect position to make that save with a stick.
To quote the Hall of Famer Mike Lang, remember that one. If Cathedral Prep is able to hold on to win. I'm not used to seeing Lehman denied from, heck, 20 feet away on a one-timer, let alone 5 feet, which that one was. And the stick save surprised me. You don't expect to hear that when a goalie's pushing across. Typically, it's the thump of the pad if he is able to make it there. But he was there in plenty of time. He read the play beautifully. Lehman pulls the puck away on the face-off win, but couldn't connect cleanly on to Jake Bush. So now the Ramblers get a chance to break it out. Here's a sharp pass across from Orlando to Adams. Adams to the middle, has a chance, shot it, and he just missed. Maybe Wilbert got a piece. Adams put it right back in front. He stashed it on the backhand side, but it slides out to the blue line. Orlando ripping, blocked by Bush, and Lehman will take it. He's got a man breaking up ice. It's John Camp, and he got it to him. Onside Camp, he scores!
What a pass, what a shot.
3-2, John Camp with a pair of breakaway goals in the second period, and it's far from over in South Point.
Wow, Lehman just saw Camp. He had to put it perfect as 2 Cathedral Prep sticks were just ready to block that one down. And he put it perfectly on Camp's stick to keep him on side even. That was going to look like Camp was going to be just ahead of it. And came in and just fired it tie on Faulkner, and it's 3-2.
In this job, a lot of times I'm as surprised as anybody by the lead passes because I'm following the puck. That time you could see that developing. Camp was breaking. The play was broken up in the Indian zone. And
there's only 2 things that happened from that. What just happened, and it goes past him because he put it too far ahead of him. Wow.
And it was just ever so delicately guided ahead by Mark Lehman, who picks up the assist on the play. Lehman has 33 points on the year, 13 of those helpers. It's 3-2, Cathedral Prep, and top line's going toe-to-toe right now. Khrushchevsky's got 2, John Camp has 2. Both times sent away on breakaways. He went with the forehand deke move the first time. Second time, he called the goaltender Faulkner's bluff. Big hit at center, Ferguson knocking down Martin. But Camp pulling the trigger early and sniping over the glove, as you saw there on your screen. And this is Aiden Alexander, pardon me, off to Barrett. Indians regroup and now hand it away. Eubank wanted a center. That's broken up. Sala will lift it along, but scooped up by Alexander. Steps on the gas. Alexander run off to the side wall, though, and flipped up ahead. Here's a chance on a breakaway the other way, and a backhand goes wide from Jared Aylesworth. Beauty of an opportunity there. Didn't work out. Or pardon, that's Austin Faulkner, I should say. 9, not 8. No names on the back of these Ramblers jerseys, so if it's folded a certain way, might look a different way, but that was Faulkner. Tried the backhand, and I think Wilbert got the slightest bit of equipment on it in some form or fashion. Foltz will try to shoot high, and it's blocked aside. More than halfway through this one. Attackers getting behind blue lines and challenging goalies one-on-one. It's been an entertaining first 28 minutes now. Barrett will shoot, redirected to the front. Camp going for the hat trick, but he's stymied right there in front of the net. Cruising back, Joe Agresti. Agresti, a low shot, and sticked up into the glove by Alex Wilbert. Well, one of the Ramblers was frustrated, and that was Austin Faulkner. Thought he could put the Ramblers ahead, and he could have with an opportunity. We just saw on the breakaway. So in the breakaway counter, it's 2-0 in favor of the Indians, even though Cathedral Prep has had an opportunity to cut into that. Drew Wilbert's wrister off the skate of Prep Zambrowski. Lehman retrieves it, gets it to the point, and Alexander with a 60-foot blast. Had no traffic in front, so Faulkner snatches it right along the ice. There's been some games this year we've seen all 4 Wilberts on the ice, just 2 tonight out of the quadruplets for Peters Township. Eric injured and Katie not dressed. So we have Drew and we have Alex. Khrushchevsky off to Adams. This dynamic duo's at it again on a rush opportunity, and this shot's right into the Indian crest on the jersey of Wilbert. I was mentioning earlier, the last 2 times that Cathedral Prep has come into this building to play Peters Township, they have won, which is hard to do against the Indians really any year this decade, but especially the past 2. Just 3 combined losses the past 2 years, and 2 of them have been to Cathedral Prep here on this home ice at Prince Gate. Rolling pass goes ahead, and it'll trundle down the rink for an icing call. Adams misfired on that one. And beyond that, in those 2 wins coming into tonight, Jake Khrushchevsky had scored 3 times to make it now 5 goals in not even 3 full games here against Peters Township in the past 3 years for the Ramblers' top gun. He scores against everybody, but he seems to have a special brand of success in this building. Remember 2 years ago, the Indians hadn't lost here going late into the regular season until the Ramblers came in and upset them. Usually a second half kind of team. Erie Cathedral Prep. An arching drive into the offensive zone by Hunter Ferguson allows Cathedral Prep to set up shot behind its net. Sala's pass, though, goes off the twig of Lehman. Lehman gloves it down and spun it right back in deep. Hard carry him off the end boards, though. Doesn't allow Camp to catch up to it. Faulkner will pin it. So if Prep can get the home game, they would force any of these teams down here in this part of the PIHL to drive about 2 hours to get up to Mercyhurst Ice Center one way.
The only way team that's closest is Pine Richland at this point, and they're a possibility.
It'd be about, an hour and a half from there, I suppose. Yep. Still not short. Nothing like what you'd see in any other part of the league. Zakin trying to use a power move there, leaning in against Garlack. And he did win the puck, did Zakin. To Barrett, back to Zakin.
I do believe Seneca Valley can get the 6th seed, too.
Okay, so that could be a possibility as well. Wouldn't be as bad as one of the South Hills teams making the trip.
Yeah.
Barrett's rip. Garlack blocked it, but Ramblers can't clear. McElhaney wanted to slip a pass through to Dabkowski. That didn't work. Agresti to the outside. Another shot from the right wing, and another save by Wilbert with 4:35 on the second period clock.
Yeah, if it's one of the teams from the South Hills, you got to realize if they use the same slot they always use for the ice time up at Mercyhurst, it's an 8:30 start too, up in Erie. So remember, you're not going to be done till 10:30. Then you still got the 2-hour drive home.
Of course, if you win, you don't really think about that too much.
Nope. You think about the island.
Yes,
at that point, you think about Robert Morris and what you're going to do when you get there.
Once again, RMU Island Sports Center will host the semifinal round of the PIHL.
Thursday for AAA.
Coming up in a couple of weeks. We are inches away from the postseason.
If your seeds 1, 8, 4, or 5, you will play at the 7 o'clock start. Okay. And if your seeds 2, 7, 3, or 6, you play at 9 o'clock.
Got it.
So
offside against Cathedral Prep.
Yeah, it's a little bit to think about there, but
good to know. And I'm sure there are some folks out there watching who did not know that. So Mitch bringing the knowledge. And quarterfinals are home sites, and then it's RMU, and then if you're fortunate enough and skilled enough to make the final, it's once again up at the Lemieux Sports Complex.
And that game will be played on Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. So
third week of March. Power play, second of the game for Peters Township. Lehman takes this one. The penalty was issued to Austin Faulkner as a snapshot from Lehman settles into the breadbasket of Seth Faulkner. So it's Austin Faulkner in the box. Seth Faulkner is the goaltender, just in case you're wondering.
And the general theory on that this year is that the Flyers Cup is being held the 2 days after the Penguins Cup. So you're going to have a little bit more time to set your travel plans because it'll be Saturday for the state championships that week.
Got it. Alexander, apparently that's a hand pass. That'll bring the face-off out into neutral ice. 28 seconds into this power play. The Indians are a conversion away from tying this game. The second period has been PT's weakest of the season. First and third, they've been dominant. Lehman high riser, and it's absorbed neatly by Faulkner. He went up to his tiptoes to make that save and just cradle it. Not an easy thing to do. Seen many a goalie get overpowered by that shot this year. Lehman goes over to the bench to discuss something with head coach Rick Tingle. I wonder what that's about. Some sort of a set play perhaps here, or an adjustment to what they're doing on the power play setup. For all intents and purposes, a very even strength game so far. And the door to the opposing locker room over there on the far corner popped open on a hit. Actually, the locker room for the opposing team is down to our right. I'm not sure what that door goes to, another room of some sort. Khrushchevsky will tip it ahead, and Jake Khrushchevsky, already with 2 goals, has a shorthanded chance. Couldn't get around Hunter Ferguson, but then Aiden Alexander interferes with him on his way to the net after that, and that'll even things up. Whistle sounds. Brian Buchholz makes the call. So we'll see some 4-on-4 play. The second interference call against the Indians tonight. .309 left before the intermission for the ice cut. Still 3-2 Cathedral Prep. Ramblers led 2-0 and 3-1. And now they have Khrushchevsky and Adams out there up front on this 4-on-4 situation. Khrushchevsky went right to the front, but he couldn't take that pass on his backhand from Sala. Sala has it again. Scanning, wristing, save made Wilbert, and his teammates try to clear it away from him for a moment, but then he hops on it. Garlack and Sala at the points, or they were at the points for Cathedral Prep. And they'll remain there. Change of forwards for the Ramblers. Same deal for the Indians. They'll put Lehman and Camp out there. So Camp, who's already broken free for 2 breakaway goals, has some open ice. Watch out. You know he'll be trying to take a step. And Camp now will pin Peterson to the wall. He rips it away from Peterson, finding Bush. Bush couldn't put that one on a platter for Lehman, so Bush shoots in on the second attempt. 2:30 left in the second. Camp kept it in. Lehman shooting. It scores! It hopped through Faulkner and jumped in. 3-all on the 4-on-4 goal from Mark Lehman, his 21st of the season, simply overpowering Faulkner with that wrist shot from 35 feet out.
Here we go again. I was wondering after you saw 2 goals by Camp when Lehman was going to wake up. You were talking about secondary scoring. Well, you can't get much more primary scoring than Mark Lehman, and that was definitely one of those shots that he needed to take there and get the opportunity to get the goal.
John Camp, the junior, has a 3-point night. He gets the only assist on that one, interrupting the attempted clear from Cathedral Prep. And the Indians have come all the way back. They've trailed by 2 twice, and they are level. Late stages, second period now. Last game of the regular season. The Indians have a home game already wrapped up, but they're trying to finish with 4 wins in a row.
You want that 3 seed.
Why not? Always want to climb a little bit higher if you can. Fultz, the steal, the backhand, flutters away from the front of the net. 1:53 remaining before the break.
And as you've been talking about it, how
Adams backhand, didn't get through, rebound, and it chopped right into Wilbert by Zambrowski on the follow-up.
And as you had been talking about the inconsistencies, them being concerned about how they play, they played the last couple weeks, you maybe want to try to get a win like this and get that momentum going into next week. Regardless of who you play, it's always nice to have this type of momentum.
Yes, get that last game you played, always so important, right?
Yeah.
For the confidence.
You assume it's going to be one of Pine Richland or Cannon McMillan at this point. And you've won the series against them on both sides. So
that's right. Including just beating Pine Richland in the shootout last week. Power play now for Erie Cathedral Prep. It's a short one, but a chance to go back ahead if they can take advantage. Sala dishing to the point. Zambrowski holding, 5 seconds to go on the advantage. Shot it off of Wilbert's leg. Khrushchevsky gathers. Wilbert's down and out. Net appears to be off its moorings, but it comes to the front of Adams, and he's stopped by Wilbert, and there is a Cathedral Prep player down rolling in pain in the ice in the low slot, on the ice in the low slot, I should say. It's Cox. He's up, but I think a second penalty is about to be called against the Indians. It is interference.
Good luck scramble save by Wilbert there. He knew where it was, but it was just that point-blank range shot that you had to worry about that they can put anywhere. Just the perfect distance away from the net, and he was able to get a chicken wing on it and hold on to it, but the interference penalty comes up, and now we're going to go back on the kill.
1:05 left in the second, and a third interference call against the Indians tonight. The penalty du jour.
A good luck chicken wing save. I like that.
One of those saves where the goalie just comes out to try to smother it and take away every angle if he can. I think he realized that Adams didn't have a lot of time. Now, if the player has some time, able to get his head up, you probably don't do that because then he could deke right around you.
One to go.
Into the corner. It's a 3-3 game. Third power play for the Ramblers. Shot by Khrushchevsky, blocked by Alexander right in front of him. But Indians can't get to the puck. At the point, poked away by Brace. Centered, he took it off of Adams' stick. And then Adams was bumped off the puck. Indians want an interference call. Griffin Garlock given away, and then Jake Bush buzzed it right by the ear of the
Buckholes.
referee, Brian Buckholes.
Whew.
Made all of us gasp for a moment.
I think he's trying to figure out
where
where
a helmet,
yes.
but still, that would not have felt good. Adams ducking behind the goal with 21 seconds to go on the frame. Poked away from him by Alexander. At the sidewall, though, the battle remains on. Drive by Dabrowski, and it's off the pad of Wilbert. Foltz trying to knock this out of the zone. Can't get there in time. 4 seconds to go on the frame. Jake Bush follows up and rips it down the ice. That'll do it for the second period. It's a good one from Princescape in game one of our Berg Hockey Live doubleheader through 34 minutes. Cathedral Prep 3, Peters Township 3, and we'll take a break on the Pittsburgh Hockey Digest Facebook page, YouTube page. I'll get it
We're
right
on
eventually.
YouTube. We're on BergHockey.com. We're everywhere there,
BergHockey.com.
legend. It's all right.
And on Peters
last
Township
regular
Community
season,
Television.
last regular season broadcast of the year for you. Don't worry, we got you. All right, we'll be back.
Limping to the finish. We'll see you in just a moment here. Just about set for the third period from Princescape Arena at South Point. My name is Matt Geica. Brian Mitchell is alongside with me here at the concourse here at Princescape, where Peters Township and Erie Cathedral Prep are tied 3-3 in this AAA bout. Final game of the regular season for both sides. 2 goals for Jake Khrushchevsky on the Cathedral Prep side. On the Peters Township side, it's 2 goals for John Camp plus an assist. Also, Mark Lehman has a pair of points for PT. And on the Cathedral Prep side, Jordan Adams with 2 assists, an assist on each of the Khrushchevsky goals. Home ice still up for grabs for Cathedral Prep. They get a win here. They can lock that up, but it'll take both points to lock it up. They start the third period on the power play as they attack down to our left in the orange and black and white jerseys. Adams steps on the brakes in the corner, setting up shop there. Sala, who has a goal in this game, want to get it down low to Khrushchevsky and did. Right back to Sala it comes. He stops up just inside the blue line to keep it alive. Now Adams wristing. He wanted to go top left corner, and he put it over the top and off the corner glass, and it caroms all the way down to the other side of the ice. A break for the Indians, now 15 seconds away from a third penalty kill in this game. John Camp stops it up before it gets to the red line. He'll shoot ahead. Peters Township can move into third place with a win today. Lehman a shorthanded chance, and that's off the toe of the goaltender Seth Faulkner, who coming into this period has stopped 17 of 20, so make it 18 of 21. At the other end, Alex Wilbert has stopped 16 of 19. Not a very high shot volume game, but there have been quality chances for both sides beyond just the goals. Ice a little wet here after the resurfacing. Drew Wilbert fanned on the attempted clear, but Alexander covers up, and the Indians are back to full strength. The top penalty kill in AAA has done it again. 3 for 3 tonight. Griffin Garlack nudged it along, chasing after it, but unable to get there in time. Joe Agresti for the boys in orange. Cathedral Prep has won 8 in a row to rise to 4th in the league. 8 in a row after starting 4-6-1. Since December, they have not lost a single game. Garlack knocks it off the kick plate, but McElhaney revs it up. Makes a curl and fires a pass off the stick of Zakin, who touches it along to negate the icing. McElhaney whiffed on the back pass. And it's Agresti again for Cathedral Prep. Chip in charge, past Ferguson. Along in behind, Ferguson runs him off with a strong check. Cleared it off the glass, bounces to the point, and Garlock kept it into the offensive zone. Spinning pass to the front by Faulkner. That's Austin Faulkner. That doesn't hook up with anybody. Faulkner takes a wild swing at a bouncing puck and couldn't put his stick to it. Jack Zakin cruising into the offensive zone, and a sharp angle chance on the forehand. Bodied away by Seth Faulkner to the corner. McElhaney, end of his shift now with Zakin. Zakin cruises in and scoops it up. Alexander to Zakin. Center sets his edges and knocks it into the near corner. McElhaney, again, couldn't make a clean play, and then McElhaney hits a rambler from behind and appears to be injured. Struggling to get to his feet here is Austin Faulkner. Looked like an elbow to the back from McElhaney. And no penalty upcoming. This will be an icing against the Ramblers of Cathedral Prep, bringing the faceoff back down to our right. First game of 2 on tonight's Berg Hockey Live presentation on the berghockey.com YouTube page. Pittsburgh Hockey Digest is our full name. I'm Matt Geica. Brian Mitchell is with me, also broadcasting simulcasts on tape delay on Peters Township Community Television, Channel 7, as we do for all the home games here at Princetown. There's going to be at least one more. Next week, the game time and day has not been announced yet because the opponent has not been announced yet for Peters Township. But they will be here for at least a 7th straight year. They'll play a home game to start the PIHL Penguins Cup playoffs. Penalty behind the play against Cathedral Prep. Fultz shot it. That went careening wide of the net. Extra attacker on for the Indians, but they're not going to be able to do any work with it as Jarrett Aylesworth touches the puck on the far side. And the Indians are about to go to the power play for the 3rd time tonight. Holding is the call. Josh Martin, the guilty man.
Had to do all the social for the next game, get everything set up before we get started on the next one. But we got another, 3/4 of a period left in this one to get through. Power play coming up for Peters Township.
Indians have gone 0 for 2 so far, but they get a chance to take their first lead of the game. Alexander pulls in the saucer pass, centering to Drew Wilbert, and he stubbed the shot off the heel of his stick. Indians have to go after it again, but they'll have to chase Hayden Cox. Cox whipped it over to this near side, away from Khrushchevsky, who just backpedals. Khrushchevsky and Cox, the penalty-killing forwards for the Cathedral Prep Ramblers. In case you're wondering, Khrushchevsky has 1 shorthanded goal on the year, and Cox has 2. 3 total for Cathedral Prep on the season, but PT's allowed just 1. Alexander, snap pass, doesn't hook up with anybody. Drew Wilbert takes it off the boards. Wilbert down low to Camp. He'll pick this one off the end wall. Ferguson, center point, ripped it, missed it. Alexander will take it back. Alexander to Wilbert. Alexander and Ferguson working the points, 2 offensively minded blue liners, but that D-to-D pass was broken up by Khrushchevsky, who pressures Ferguson. Ferguson flipped that pass right over the top of Khrushchevsky's stick. Now Lehman wanted to relay that along quickly, And it's broken up by Jonathan Zambrowski, who pushed it right back into the Indian zone. 11:52 to go in the third and 42 seconds left on this third Peters Township power play. Lehman nearly lost control at center. Wilbert ran into a man, but Drew Wilbert regains possession. Settling in, now centering one to Lehman, and put that shot off the stick of a Rambler and wide. Lehman to Bush. Bush tees one up, and it's off the leg of Zambrowski. Zambrowski to the corner. Couldn't get it cleanly, but Hayden Cox will, and he'll clear it one more time. 10 seconds left on the penalty to Martin of Cathedral Prep for holding. Foltz stretches out to take this lead pass. Second unit out there for Rick Tingle. Debkowski, the dangle, the shot, and it ends up in the glove of Seth Faulkner, and nothing further from that. Penalty is over. 11:06 left in regulation time.
So much on the line, and they're both playing like it is, too. They want that 3 seed.
Feels like a playoff game. It is a playoff game for seeding at the moment, if you will, in that way. Last of 20 regular season games for both sides. And Peters has had a busy schedule lately. They're coming off of a back-to-back 2-game week situation. Then they were off last week. So a lot of games at the start of February, then nothing last week. They did play Meadville, though, in a senior night scrimmage, which they have done the last couple of years. That happened on Sunday afternoon/evening. Zakin cleaned out on the far side wall by the Ramblers' Mike Orlando. So that's the way that Rick Tingle has done senior night the last couple of times out. 16 seniors for Peters Township.
They had a lot last year, too. They just continue to roll through this program. It's amazing to see. You just have a lot of input on this, the youth in the Peters Township area.
Well, the program goes all the way down to the developmental levels, so it starts before middle school. You get into the Indians program, if you will. Part of the success, also, it's a huge school, so. But they do a good job of getting kids out and getting them hooked on the game and playing for the red and the black. Icing here against Cathedral Prep. Just under 10 minutes left now in the third.
And that's what I noticed about a lot of the successful teams that want to make their way up to AAA, things like that. They have those developmental programs that are able to bring the kids in, teach them the fundamentals, but also try to bring them in the style of the team so you eventually bring it up. A lot of the coaches that are assistant coaches for the JV teams are on the teams that are actually playing very well. So
there's a reason why that tends to work out. Khrushchevsky in some trouble in his own zone. Indians were offside, but they tagged up, so that would have been a legal play if Camp could have taken the puck off of Khrushchevsky. A couple of 2-goal men in this game going head-to-head. Khrushchevsky did manage to escape. Alexander, Indians use the width of the ice here. Ferguson back to Alexander. And Camp taps it along, but not beyond the reach of Zambrowski. Zambrowski finds Khrushchevsky. Khrushchevsky has a trailer in Adams. Can't find him. That was blocked off, and then Adams swung it right through the top of the crease, but no one home for the Ramblers. Bouncing away to this near side. Zambrowski turning to shoot, and a stick save by Alex Wilbert. Drew Wilbert, his brother, knocked it out to center. Under 9 to play in the third. No goals in this third period yet. We entered it tied 3-3. We remain 3-3. To the line, Gerlach held it in with his body and blasted one offline. Ferguson pulls this in behind the net. One hand on his stick. He poked it right by a forechecker. That was Khrushchevsky. And now Lehman finds Drew Wilbert. Wilbert steps on the gas, shot it down low. And that's sticked away, controlled nicely by Faulkner. Cross-ring pass intercepted by Debkowski of Peters Township. Debkowski put it into a soft area of the ice that was open for a moment, but Garlack recovered to take it right back. But this will be cleared down the length of the rink by Zambrowski. And again, the Rambler is not afraid of using the icing call to get some fresh bodies out, even though they'll have to defend here again on the restart.
Based off what I was speaking about earlier, the developmental programs, and I actually have a story from last season. Pine Richland had 16 or 18 seniors off of that AA championship team. And I was asking Jordan Yoaklick, how do you continue to bring them in. He said, well, I'm an assistant coach on a JV team because I know I'm going to have so many spots to fill next season. So, you see that just because of the point. And I've heard that from other coaches too.
It's a beautiful thing when it all works out. It can really feel like a professional setup with minor league clubs below, if you will. Last time out for Cathedral Prep, they blew a 2-goal lead, but still won in the shootout against Seneca Valley. In fact, the Ramblers have a couple of wins in the shootout this year, helped them getting to 12 at this point. 12-6-1 is the record. A 13th win would secure home ice next week in the first round of the playoffs. McElhaney has the puck poked off his stick as he tried to drive the goal from the goal line. The McElhaney unit is out there with Zakin and centered alongside. They're hacking and whacking, trying to pry that puck loose. It does come free to Orlando, though, of Cathedral Prep. Bouncing play to the front of his own net. Tyler Balzer takes it and reverses the flow of it to this near side. Orlando, his backhand, does get it to the safety of center, but just barely. McElhaney shoveled it right back in, and it's Evan Sala now. Sala opened the scoring a couple of periods ago. Cathedral Prep led 2-0 after one. They led 3-1 midway through the second. Back-to-back goals, though, by Camp and Lehman have the Indians level. 6:40 left in the third. This will be icing back the other way against the Indians. Lehman came into this game 5th in points in Class AAA, 3rd in goals, tied for 3rd in goals. Now he's 3rd solo in goals with 21 after his 4-on-4 tally late in that second period. Drew Wilbert was tied for 10th. Khrushchevsky also in the top 10. So all those players have been heard from tonight on the score sheet in one form or another. Off the faceoff win, wrister down to one knee was Austin Faulkner, but Alex Wilbert made the save down to his knees in the butterfly position, and his teammates cleared the rebound. Ferguson, with a man in his face, made the sharp play along to center on this near wing side where he was supposed to be. But he couldn't poke it past the Ramblers at center. Cutting in is Peterson. Peterson to the outside, shot it as he fell away off the stick of Wilbert and picked up by Ferguson. Cleared down the ice. This will settle just below the goal line. That'll bring the faceoff back into the offensive zone for the Ramblers. 6:06 left in the third.
Cathedral Prep starting to get a little momentum back here. The Peters Township Indians had a lot of opportunity down in their offensive zone. Now Cathedral Prep starting to get a little bit more and more pushed the other way, and see how this one plays out for the Ramblers.
Barrett to the boards on his backhand. Unable to nudge it by Adams, though. Still working is Drew Wilbert. He has it now. Gunned it behind his own net. Good little angle play, and Lehman's on the move. Lehman over the line. Lehman wristed it, whiffed, and then the second attempt was off the stick of Zambrowski and hops into the netting. Jumped back in front of the Ramblers' net, but the puck was out of play.
One of these teams is going to get an opportunity off of a bad bounce or some sort of a play that just creates the break that they're going to need, because it just feels like that powder keg's starting to get a little bit warm now.
We're at the point where one bounce could decide it, one great play could decide it, or one mistake could decide it. Conversely, Adams, he can force a few mistakes, and he can make some great plays. Jordan Adams, lean to the outside, wanted to connect to Cox, just inside the left circle, but it didn't happen. A little bit away from him. Lehman on the counter. Lehman, high rising shot again. He loves to try to pick that top corner. He's not afraid to shoot from 40 feet or further out. Drew Wilbert to the doorstep, bounced away from Camp. Was cleared away from him by Zambrowski, who was the man to defend that play. That was his task, and he did it well. Cracked across the ice by Adams, on the money to Khrushchevsky. Khrushchevsky testing the glove hand of Wilbert, but it's over the glove and over the crossbar and out of the zone. Evan Sala with 4:49 left in the third. Thanks for joining us on Berg Hockey Live for the first of two games. Second game will be Cannon McMillan hosting Upper St. Clair. Brian Mitchell will be with Dave Fryer of the PIHL.
Yeah, he's going to help me out tonight.
Good to hear from Dave, who's the man behind the scenes, making everything happen in this league.
He offered. I was like, yeah, I'll take a little bit of help tonight in the final broadcast of the year.
McElhaney settling and shooting.
What a glove.
The rapier-like glove hand of Faulkner pulls it in anyway. It was probably going over the net, but hey, why take the chance?
Absolutely. You're down in the butterfly like that. You don't know how low you're actually at that point when you get that far out of the net.
Faulkner has been impressive, looking like one of the top goalies in this league. He's got a little more action to his game than some goalies. He's fun to watch. At the other end, I think Alex Wilbert, the less you notice him, the better he's playing sometimes, because he's one of those positional goalies who likes to really make it look easy. Just like that. You proved my point there.
The Alex Wilbert factor is you start seeing the second, third, and fourth shots whenever he has to start playing from out of position off the rebounds. That's where he has a little bit of trouble, but every goaltender has that issue out there.
Yeah, you always hear, well, control the rebound. Well, it's not that easy.
Now,
it's a dynamic game.
And once it's out there, you have to basically be on your toes at every waning moment.
Right, that's when it gets fun, really. You start to
I
react a
love
little
it.
bit.
It was my favorite style out there, was the scramble style. I did my best work when luck was involved.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, Brian has played goaltender quite a bit more than me, I know that. My experience in the position is limited to street hockey. And not much of that. It's been a while. I will say it's a fun position. And if you like being at the center of things, I'm not sure there's a better position.
You also want to be the #1 enemy of your team on a bad goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a great position.
Oh, yeah, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Thrown out of the face-off dot.
We haven't seen much of that.
No.
So it'll be Faulkner taking it. Scramble draw. Backhand chance there from Dom Peterson, who was the one booted, so he got a shot away after all that. But stopped by Wilbert on the sharp angle chance. This is Drew Wilbert pulling up. Wanting to find Alexander. Gloves it down to his stick. And it's ruled to be played in with the hand, so it wouldn't have counted anyway.
Yeah, he dropped it. I don't think he got a stick on it. It just rolled on net.
I wasn't aware that was an actual whistle, though. I thought they would just let that
No,
go
if it goes on net, you can throw it on net. It's a whistle.
Okay. I learned something.
It's a hand pass on net.
Aiden Alexander has 7 points on the year, and now they're going to bring the face-off into the offensive zone. Maybe ruled to be a mistake.
Possibly.
By the officials, I'm not sure. As I was saying, though, Alexander has shown a little more aggression in the second half of the season. He scored a beauty overtime goal at Bethel Park. Of course, that was 3-on-3, so all bets are off there. And with 10 seconds left, he had no real risk in breaking up into the play. But I've noticed him being a little bit more assertive. As here's an assertive shot from Khrushchevsky on the cutback move into the chest of Wilbert. And then he got a stick in the neck area, it appeared, from Adams on the rebound chance. And the Indians' Ferguson ushered Adams away from the front of the net. But it appears Wilbert is okay. Alex Wilbert, who is playing his 13th game tonight, a record of 9-3. I mentioned the save percentage creeping closer to .930. Didn't play the first month plus with a lower body injury, but he's essentially been the man since then, as we expected this season. And here's his brother Drew. Drew Wilbert trying to make it 4-3. Could not beat Faulkner, who came out to cut down the angle. There wasn't a lot to shoot at.
Tried to sneak it through the 5-hole. Seems to be.
John Camp appeared to be slashed, or he ran into something as he charged the back post, and he is still smarting from that apparent injury, holding his right hand outside of his glove. 3:02 remaining in the third. 3-3. As you see there on your device screen. Thank you for coming along on the journey with us tonight. Adams curling and shooting, and it's stopped by Wilbert again. Every time that top line has the puck for the Ramblers, they've created something. Khrushchevsky was wiped out deep in the zone. Ferguson, he's right on the edge tonight. He's been penalized once for interference. That time, I was close to a knee or a trip on Khrushchevsky, but play allowed to continue. 2.5 left in the third. And Ferguson's been on that line all year, and that's just the way he plays, so there's always going to be that element of risk to his game. But right now, you definitely want to be careful. Don't want to give this Ramblers advantage a chance to get it revved late, even if they have killed all three of them. The Indians, that is. McElhaney, the soft deflection ahead. Zakin skates into it. Down to 2:07 in the third. Next goal could win it at this point. Bush is going to chase after it. Won't be able to get there in time, so it's an icing against Cathedral Prep.
Overtime works in the favor of one of the teams for this scenario. If Peters Township were to get the extra point here, it works in favor of Pine Richland when it comes to seeding.
Okay.
Because what happens is the wins factor comes into effect instead of the head-to-head. And the penalty minutes is going to be a rough call because you have to wait and see what happens with Pine Richland in the final game. But it takes the wins factor out of it, so it's actually it's actually in the favor of Cathedral Prep for this number 6 seed the 5 seed instead of the 6 seed. So
attempted play in front there for Joe Agresti by Peterson, but that's broken up.
Also,
and Drew Wilbert shoots it. Well, you mentioned penalty minutes. That's the final tie break, correct?
Well, yeah, but what happens is if Cathedral Prep doesn't win here today, Pine Richland with a win on Thursday will tie them in wins. Mm-hmm. Well, they split their season series.
Okay.
You're tied in wins. You have to go to the penalty minutes. Okay. And I was looking that up earlier, and I kind of got distracted when I did it. But I'll look that up again right now going into the final game. I got to look and see how many they've taken this period thus far.
This game has 3 so far.
So 6 minutes in this
6
one.
6 minutes, yes.
So whenever I get this one up, I'll try to give that detail because they'll be done with the season. So if they have less than Pine Richland, they will have that tiebreaker.
Okay. Good to keep
with
in
Pine
mind
Richland,
too.
yeah, with Pine Richland having the game remaining.
Center ice dump in from Wilbert. Lehman could not beat Adams to the puck. He tapped it along. Here's Cox. Khrushchevsky has some room. Jake Khrushchevsky shot it. Glove save by Wilbert. And that one appeared ticketed bottom right corner. Wilbert stopped it, and he eventually holds it with 1:07 left in regulation time.
Cathedral Prep has 7 more penalty minutes, now 13, than Pine Richland. So Pine Richland will have the tiebreaker, but they have to take less than 14 penalty minutes. It's crazy with the tiebreakers, and that's where we're looking at right now. So that is now they need to take 14 less penalty minutes.
Pine Richland is at Bethel Park on Thursday.
Yeah, so be nice. You got to be
nice and win. Khrushchevsky backdoor play, bounced away from Adams. It was sticked aside by Ferguson. Now 50 seconds left in regulation time. We go to overtime, both teams get a point. Adams wanted to find Khrushchevsky on the back post, but Anthony Foltz, the winger, made the defensive play that time. And this will be icing against Cathedral Prep again.
Wow.
This has to be at least the 7th or 8th icing in this period against the Ramblers. They're tempting fate. 38 seconds on the clock. No goals in this period after 3 to each side in the first 2. Lehman on the draw for Peters Township. Hayden Cox for Cathedral Prep, and Cox, clutch win. And Zambrowski will clear it around the kick plate, and it's off to Alexander. Now Barrett put it right through Drew Wilbert. Half minute to go. Adams deked around one man, but Drew Wilbert came back strong on his stick to force the turnover. And now Lehman finds Camp. Camp, 2 goals in this game, pulls up, left it. Wilbert tried to go near side, wanted to pass through a couple of orange bodies, and it was blocked. Adams with 10 seconds. Jordan Adams slicing through and shooting, and I think it hit a body in front. Maybe Wilbert got a piece. 4 seconds left in regulation time. Spun to the front by the Ramblers. One last chance, perhaps. No, they won't get the shot away, and we go to overtime in South Point.
Wow.
We having fun yet?
I've had fun for the last 2 weeks, sir. Wow.
3-all. We finished that regulation portion, so each team gets a point. Big time point for Cathedral Prep to aid its chances in finishing in home ice position. So now Cathedral Prep with 26 and Peters Township with 27. They'll play for the final point up for grabs.
And if Cathedral Prep wins, they win based off of the tiebreaker of points in common games. So they will take the 3 seed because they will have 3 points.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 points compared to the 2 points that they would have split out. So
right.
I'm sorry. Yeah, if Peters Township wins. So wait. No, Peters Township wins. They win outright. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. You're driving me insane, sir.
Anyway, timeout for Peters Township. Yes, Peters came in with a 1-point lead on Cathedral Prep, so if they win, then they stay ahead.
Cannon McMillan in any three-way tie will take the 4 seed.
All right.
So when it comes to Cathedral Prep and Pine Richland, because they have won both season series against the two.
And out of town scores, Seneca Valley was winning 4-2. They have won 6-3. So the Raiders pick up a couple more points in the standings. Tough year for Central Catholic. They end up at 2-17-1 for the Vikings, just 5 points in 20 games. Seneca Valley now at 24 points. They're in a 3-way tie for 5th at the moment.
If Cannon McMillan loses tonight, they will drop below Seneca Valley in the standings. That's where Seneca Valley can finish 6th. So Cannon McMillan can go down to 7th here. So they need the 2 points here, as they'll finish below Seneca Valley in any tie.
Peters Township is a goal away from the 3 seed, and win number 14, Cathedral Prep, is a goal away from home ice in the first round. And win number 13. Camp, it's 3-on-3, sudden death. Lehman left the puck behind, but it's onside. Lehman wanted to gun it through traffic to get it to Camp. Remember, Camp has 2 goals in this game already, both on breakaways. Played ahead, it's Adams with Khrushchevsky. 2-on-1 for the Ramblers. Couldn't get the pass through Ferguson, who broke it up. It'll be a 2-on-1 back the other way, maybe. No, Adams catches up. It's a 2-on-2. Adams hustling to get back. Ferguson laid it into open space, and there's plenty of it right now in the 3-on-3. This is the 3rd overtime game in the past 4 for the Indians after playing the first 16 without going to overtime. It's gotten tight down the stretch for the Tribe. 3-man change for the Indians, and the Ramblers still keeping their original bodies out there. Cut back by Sala. Sala, Khrushchevsky, and Adams started, as you would expect, the 3 big stars for Cathedral Prep, but now they're off the ice. Second unit's out for both sides. It's only a 3-minute overtime as well. 1 minute into it. Drew Wilbert slows it up. Zakin supporting the puck. Alexander splits wide. Zakin on the take. He's got Wilbert making a cut, but can't make the pass through. Garlack defending Wilbert in the corner. Garlack took it away for a moment. Still available, and Drew Wilbert takes it and keeps it in the offensive zone. Waiting for reinforcements. Alexander joins him. Wilbert shot it. Save made, Faulkner. First save of this overtime for either netminder. Tossed ahead by Cox. Off the backside of Zakin, Indians have possession again, and possession is king in the 3-on-3. Alexander with Zakin. Getting toward the end of the shift for this threesome, you'd imagine. Alexander, the only overtime goal of the season for the Indians, but he tried to center it and set one up that time. Now he takes it away. Alexander, the deke, and he couldn't get it free. Put it in the skates of Garlack, and it slid in on Seth Faulkner, who held on. Zakin was calling for that puck, but Alexander didn't want to make the pass, and a timeout will be taken by Cathedral Prep now with 1:05 left in the overtime.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Isn't this fun? All right, let me look at what we've got here. So Pine Richland holds the tiebreaker over Cannon McMillan. Cannon McMillan holds a tiebreaker in any 3-way tie with the 2 of them by common games. That would be the only way Cannon McMillan can defeat Pine Richland in any format on it, because they have most points in common games. So then you move into wins and PIMs, and then we'll just have to wait and see. I basically have been saying the entire time, let the games play out, because it gave me a headache 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you're not letting them play out right now.
Well, I can't. They're playing out in my head, sir, because they're playing games in my head.
I understand.
Oh, man.
Well, fortunately for you, after this second game, a lot will be cleared up.
I hope so. Because if it's not, I don't know, man. Face-off coming up inside the zone.
Lehman to take it. Camp's out there. So's Ferguson on the Peters Township side. For the guys in orange, it's Khrushchevsky and Adams and Sala. It's as good as it gets right here.
Wilbert has to fix his equipment down on the opposite end. He had his helmet off, and they had to get ready.
That might be important.
Yeah.
3 best guys against the 3 best guys. 1 minute and 5 seconds to go in overtime. And Lehman's forced out the center. Strong stick by Khrushchevsky to flush it out of the zone. And a giveaway. Adams, the breakaway for the win. Put it wide of the net.
Wow.
Wanted to go top shelf, and he missed. Couldn't get a better chance than that. 40-foot breakaway, maybe a 50-footer for Adams. Had the hustle, though. Wasn't an unharassed breakaway. Now Adams knocked it past Lehman. Relays to Krzyzewski. Has Adams cutting in. Krzyzewski's shot blocked by Ferguson, and that hurt. And Ferguson is down, and
so is Camp.
Camp is down. The whistle blows.
The MASH unit is out.
The net was off its moorings. That's why the whistle sounded, I think.
Wow.
I don't believe it was for an injury, but it could have been. Both players were on hands and knees. 31 seconds to go in this overtime period. Alexander and Wilbert join Lehman
outside
on the ice.
Zone.
Still the same threesome for Cathedral Prep. A goal will win it, but we only have 27 seconds left to get it. As I mentioned, Alexander's played sudden death hero once this year. He carries the puck again. Got by Adams, did Alexander. Alexander all the way in, backhand, stick save, rebound Wilbert, off the body in front and scores!
Well, there it is.
Drew Wilbert shot the puck and it hit Evan Sala and caromed in. It wasn't the prettiest, but it's 2 points for the Indians in overtime. They win it 4-3 with just 12 seconds left in sudden death.
Those lucky bounces, those lucky bounces, those lucky bounces, and it just so happened to go off a defender's stick, and that's going to be a long drive home. Ooh. Wow. And that's the difference between the 3rd seed and possibly the 6th seed here. If you think about it.
Prep will get 1 point out of this, so they'll go to 26, but Peters Township finishes in 3rd with 27, and they'll be right back here next week. Probably in exactly a week. We'll find out the date and time in just a couple of days via the PIHL, but Indians win. Indians win 4-3 in overtime, and they are now 3-0 in games that go beyond regulation this season, 2-0 in OT. They finished the regular season at 14-6 on the Drew Wilbert sudden death goal off of Evan Sala's skate in front. Cathedral Prep now 12-6-2 to finish the regular year, 26 points. So Pine Richland and or Cannon Mac can still catch them with a win, but they'll need to win.
Pine Richland, Cannon Mac, it depends who gets there. Pine Richland has Bethel Park. Cannon Mac has Upper St. Clair, a little bit higher of a hill to climb whenever you're looking at it. Then we have that one next, of course. So if you want to watch it, we're going to have it for you. But you got to think about it this way. It's now everywhere. Peters Township at least controls their destiny. 3rd seed. They don't have to worry about anything. They would have been in 4th seed. All that means the time they're going to play on in the semifinal if they make it through that first round next week.
Well, the win streak is over for Cathedral Prep at 8 games, but they go into the playoffs having at least a point in 9 straight, and a lot of handshakes between these two clubs and some smiles and some hugs after the game. These two teams appreciate the other's performance tonight, the effort, and the entirety of the regular season, and who knows, maybe they'll see each other in the playoffs coming up. Unlikely to be in fact, it won't be the first round because Peters is the 3 and Cathedral Prep cannot finish in 6, can they?
Yes,
they
still
can. Okay,
they can.
All right, so still a possibility.
Yeah, if both Pine Richland and
Cannon
Mac win their final 2 games and Pine Richland doesn't take those magical 14 penalty minutes, then it will be the first round matchup here at Printscape Arena.
Okay, so it could be a rematch. Could very well be a rematch, but a couple of other teams need to take care of business, namely the Rams and the Big Mac. So PT wins 4 in a row going into the postseason, 3 of those beyond regulation. And that is that for this one. Coming up, though, second half of the Berg Hockey Live doubleheader will be Brian Mitchell and Dave Fryer joining you on the YouTube channel. BergHockey.com is where you can find all of it, though. We'll see Upper St. Clair, second place Upper St. Clair Panthers, taking on Cannon Mac. And as we just mentioned, Cannon Mac with a lot at stake. They can jump into a home ice position because Cathedral Prep left the point on the board here in the opener. For Brian Mitchell, I'm Matt Geica saying good night for now. We'll talk to you soon on Berg Hockey Live.
Take care.